and welcome back to Subculture on centralcoastradio.com. Well, Lee and I went along and checked out one of my favorite comedians, Jon Walpole, with his new show called One Man Performing a Two-Man Show. Now, Jon, for those that have never seen him, he's very different to most comedians. He's not a stand-up comedian. He brings in everything from improv to sketch writing, sketch performance, a little bit of clown in there as well. But he always puts on amazing shows. In fact, Lee and I went along and saw a show that he did a few years ago with a couple of his friends, and we were laughing so hard that Lee got asthma while she was watching him. I went along and saw his performance last year as well, and he did another amazing show, and now he is back with the show that I just mentioned, One Man Performing a Two-Man Show. Lee, what were your thoughts on Jon's brand new show?
I thought this show was really amusing. I wasn't fully hysterically laughing as per his previous show. However, this is very different. What I really loved about it is he was in character from the moment we arrived.
Yeah.
And he did not come out of that character at all. So when you do arrive, he's hanging around near the bar, and so he's kind of connecting with the audience from the start, even while you're waiting for his show to start. So I really liked that. It was amusing to see that all happening. And yeah, he didn't break that character. So I did quite like. It does have kind of a bit of a moral to the story when you see the ending of the skit or comedy, sketch. And there is a lot of audience participation. So if you don't like to be pulled into it, thankfully I was at the back, kind of towards the wall, and I wasn't pulled into anything. But
he's also pretty respectful for that. If someone says they don't want to go up, he doesn't make them.
No, he doesn't make them. But there's lots of audience participation. So I think it's really good to know that when you're going into that atmosphere, because then you're not so surprised by it. But he is, he's very unique, I feel like, in his style, and he keeps you engaged the whole time, and you're quite fascinated in, because he's kind of telling a story through his actual comedy.
There's a premise there, basically, that Jon was supposed to be on stage with his co-star Tim, and Tim doesn't show up. So when Lee was saying he's in character from the start, basically when you walk into the theatre space, he'll ask you, have you seen a guy dressed like me downstairs? He hasn't turned up. I
don't want to give too much away. But it's I like the way it was done. There was someone else who participated in
James.
His skit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're giving all the things away. So, anyway, since you've said James, I'll now say James. There was another character, James, in it too. And I like how that was interwoven and how that played out as well. So definitely fun. Definitely not for kids, though. I would say late teenager.
Yeah.
Young adult.
And Jon is doing a kids show.
Yeah, he's doing a separate one for kids. So kids, and I haven't seen the kids show, but I actually think, because he's so charismatic and he's so, I think he's more an actor comedian. I could see him in a role on TV. Now, I don't know if he's done any roles on TV, but I could actually see him as an actor who's quirky and has quite a comedic role. I would love to see him in a TV show one day.
Or a movie.
Yeah. Because I think he just has that character, that personality about him. He's so engaging and keeps you entertained. So, I hope one day to see him on the big screen.
Yeah, I love this show. One of the things I love about Jon's shows is you never know what's going to happen next. And you never know what's going to happen with different sketches either. I'm not going to talk too much about what sketches Jon did in this one, because I think that people need to go along and have that surprise. But I will say my favorite involved Jon battling tiny teacups.
That was good.
That one had me laughing so much that I was like, oh no, am I going to be the one getting asthma this time? But I've said it before about Jon. He is one of the best up-and-coming artists that we've got in Australia at the moment in the comedy scene. I'm glad that he's been able to go overseas as well and do some work, because I really think that Jon is one of those artists that in years to come we're going to be talking about as I can't believe we went and saw him when he was playing like a pub show kind of thing. Like, I'm sure he's going to be filling out the Athenaeum Theatre and places like that in years to come, not just here, but in also places like New York and that really, really value comedy. I thought this was a really great show. I'd love to see Jon write a film too, or a television series. Like, we had Sammy J on the show, and he was talking about how he got his start doing sketches for ABC. I'd love to see Jon do something like that as well, because I think we talk about his performance, but he writes this as well. Like, so he's an amazing writer, an amazing performer. I cannot wait to see what Jon's next show is going to be, because as soon as he announces it, I am getting tickets, because I have just absolutely fallen in love with him as a performer and can't wait to see his next show as well. But so you're highly recommending one man performing a two-man show?
Yeah, I think if you kind of like that, like obviously
sketch comedy,
it's sketch comedy. So, and I'm pretty sure like he goes with the flow too. So if someone from the audience was to say something or do something, he's very quick with responding. So there's a bit of improv there as well. So yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, then go for it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, an amazing performer, one of Australia's most talented artists. Go and check out Jon Walpole in one man performing a two-man show before it ends. But you are listening to Subculture on centralcoastradio.com, and we'll be back in just a moment.